All right, first let me make sure we're live. And make sure you can hear me. Let's see here. How do I pop up chat on here? Chat for sure. Okay. We do have chat here. Okay, that works. It says I'm live, but I don't see anything, so not really sure what's going on here. Yeah. Let's see if we can hear. It says I'm live, but I don't see anything. I'm gonna have to work on this quality for sure. Let me see something. Yeah. Let's see if we can hear. Okay, yeah, the quality's pretty bad, but I don't know how to fix that at this moment. So, I'm gonna have to work on this quality for sure. Anyway, what's up, guys? This is a new thing I'm gonna do a couple times a week, maybe every day. It just depends. Yeah. So, without further ado, we are just jumping into some college football talk a little bit about what's going on in the college football world, and yeah, have a little fun doing it. Anyway, yeah, so welcome to the show. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to be talking about a number of things. From the transfer portal, mostly is going to be what we're talking about. There's some guys finding some new homes. There is a PFF 2025 NFL draft QB rankings I want to talk about. That is just laughable, in my opinion. Some kids entering the portal. And yeah, just basically portal news today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's change this over to React right here. Oh my God, what is going on? All right, anyway. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the mass exodus from Alabama. As you can see here, there are, just since the 2nd of January, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 players that have entered the portal. If you go back further than that, it's a bunch of kids jumping in the transfer portal. So what is going on at Alabama? Is it a culture issue with Kalen DeBoer? I don't think so. I think what's going on right now is Kalen DeBoer is trying to push people out that maybe don't fit his program, maybe don't fit what he's trying to do at Alabama. Now, with that, dude, why does it do this? Now, why would Kalen DeBoer, who just had, I won't say a bad season, but a season that was not fruitful in the eyes of most Alabama fans, why would he be trying to push kids out? Well, for exactly the reasons I just said. They don't fit his what he's trying to do with the program. Maybe they're bad in the locker room. And you got to remember, Kalen DeBoer took over late in the coaching carousel last year. It was after the first round of the playoff when Nick Saban decided he was going to retire. So it wasn't like an ideal situation that DeBoer was walking into. Now, as far as NIL funding, facilities, yes, great job. But going in that late in the cycle is not ideal. He was not able to hire the people he wanted to, I believe. He was stuck with a lot of just who would come. I would expect to see maybe even more players enter the portal, but also a lot of coaching turnover there, in my opinion, in the offseason once the season's settled and done. Now, the most shocking of the transfers was this guy right here. Offensive tackle Elijah Pritchett enters the transfer portal. He started all 13 games for the Crimson Tide and was pretty good. Now, why would this happen? He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. Maybe he just doesn't believe and hasn't bought into the Kalen DeBoer coaching tenure at Alabama. I don't know. It's interesting. It's like a free-for-all every offseason now. You see a lot of kids that are starters entering the portal, and it just doesn't make sense. We're going to talk about another kid that has entered the portal multiple times, and at one point was a starter at Arizona State. Why are these kids? Who is advising these kids to do this? I can't seem to figure it out. Who is advising these kids to hit the portal when they've already got, they've already got a starting job? It's not easy to earn a starting job in the SEC, especially at a program like Alabama. So wherever he goes, he's starting over. Now, I have probably pretty good intel that he knows where he's going when he's entering the portal. He's probably been tampered with, and he knows he's going to be starting wherever he goes. Now, if you look at some teams that need offensive tackles, there's a bunch of them. Offensive tackles are few and far between that have this kind of experience and this talent level. We know how important the tackle can be. Just look at the Georgia-Notre Dame game. Their left tackle got dominated all night long, and it was a big reason why I think they lost the game. So, could he be going to Georgia? Let's look at these comments. There is no room to compete at Alabama. All you have to do is fire in your eyes, and the coach will start you. Oh, well, people are mad at DeBoer. Oh, man. Mission broke the entire team. Smart decision, young man. Robert McVall. Anyway, so there is a mass exodus of Bama players in the portal. This could be a good thing. Looking at the way Bama finished the season, it's definitely not what Bama fans wanted, and I'm sure not what Kalen DeBoer wanted as far as the first season goes. But if these players are leaving, he can replace them with players that maybe fit his scheme, look what he's trying to do with the locker room, and fit his just overall culture he's trying to build at Alabama. Listen, Alabama fans, I know nobody's watching this right now. Don't really care. I'm going to clip it up and make clips out of it too. Alabama fans, calm down, okay? Calm down. Kalen DeBoer will win at Alabama, I promise you. He's already, what did he win this year? 9 games or something like that? Yeah, 9-4, I think, with the bowl loss. Who cares? I mean, that's a great first season for most coaches. Look what Florida fans are going through. We went 5-7 our first year with Billy Napier. It's a long process, and I think Kalen DeBoer will get the tide flipped over there. Regardless, we're going to move on. And this next thing we're going to be talking about, let me check my notes and make sure this is next. The Branch brothers. Zachariah and Zion Branch leave USC and Lincoln Riley, and now they have found a new home. The University of Georgia. Great fit for both, I believe. We know in the past that Georgia has produced some great defensive backs. They haven't had a lot of luck at receiver since George Pickens. I mean, they've had Ladd McConkey, but I'm saying with 5 stars, you know what I mean, that pan out. McConkey was a 2 or 3 star? Kid's a baller. This is a great place where Zachariah Branch can come in and be wide receiver 1, day 1, I believe. He's an outside threat that can, stretch the field. He's going to help you in special teams, obviously. Zachariah's a dog. He was probably, in my opinion, at least top 3 wide receiver to enter the transfer portal this offseason. Now, a lot of people will argue he's number 1. I agree. I would probably say people in these comments are hilarious. What a horrible. Robert McVall is going to be on every one of them. Zachariah was a 5-star in the 23 class. Zion was a 4-star in the 22 class. Now, Zion, I haven't seen him play a lot, so I don't know a lot about him, but I do know Zachariah is one of those electric kids. You can't teach the fast twitch. In my opinion, you're either born with it, it's in your DNA, or you don't have it. So Zachariah is a big pickup for the Dogs, in my opinion. Zion, Georgia probably could have gave or taken away. Could have lived with not getting him probably. But it's a plus. I think they were a package deal, so obviously you will take Zion Branch. He had some depth there. Not sure he's going to make an immediate impact like his brother Zachariah. But, the Branch brothers have found a home, and it's not where Florida fans wanted it anyway, in Athens. Now, we're going to talk about another some more Georgia portal news here in just a second. Let's look at some of these stats from Zachariah Branch. Nothing too crazy. You got to look at the quarterback situation over there in USC. Wasn't the best in his freshman year. He played in 11 games, 31 catches for 321 yards or 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. This year, 12 games, 47 catches, 503 yards and a touchdown. So in his career, he's had 800 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nothing crazy, but he does bring an interesting element to the special teams. Well, maybe not. His freshman year, he returned one kick and 1 punt for a touchdown. This year, he didn't either. I'm not sure. Was he injured this year or not? It says he played in 12 games. I don't know, to be honest. But I've seen him make plays, and I know the playmaking ability is there. Hopefully, Kirby Smart can find a way to get him the ball in space and, yeah, use his athletic ability. Zion, freshman year, played in 9 games, 15 tackles. This year, playing 12 games, 15 tackles. No interceptions yet. I don't know a lot about Zion, so I'm not going to speak on him too much. I do know you can never have enough depth at one of those positions. Trust from a Florida fan this year. In the secondary, we were beat up all year. So I'm sure it's nice to have some depth there, obviously. Moving along, what do we got next on our little tenure? Let's see here. Oh, yes. This makes me sick right here. This may be one of the worst lists I've ever seen. This is the NFL 2025 draft quarterback rankings by PFF. PFF usually puts out some good stuff, but here lately I'm starting to wonder if they watch ball at all. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Do you guys watch ball? What is this? Cam Ward, I'm fine with being number 1. Him and Shadur are 1, 2, or 1A, 1B in my opinion. You can't go wrong with either one. I think Cam Ward looks like the better player now, in my opinion. Shadur may have a little more upside, but Cam Ward is just a baller. Trust me, I know. I watched him torch Florida week 1. This is where I start to have a problem with it. Number 3, Jalen Milroe. Are we joking, guys? What is this? PFF, what are you doing? Jalen Milroe at 3. Let's just take a look at his stats. And I know stats isn't the end-all, be-all, obviously, but it does give you a good picture of what to expect. This year, starts all 13 games, 2,800 yards. Nothing to write home about there. Pretty consistent, though. He's within 10 yards the last 2 years. Look, 28-34 and 23, 28-44 and 24. Nick Saban was the coach here. Kalen DeBoer here, so not a big difference. This is where you get a big difference. 23 touchdowns a year ago, 6 interceptions. This year, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I don't know how you look at these numbers and look at what he's done this year and have him the 3rd best quarterback above guys that we'll talk about in a minute. Rushing, obviously, he's a threat to run the ball, 726 yards rushing. And where's his touchdowns at? Oh, my God. He had 20 rushing touchdowns this year? All right. Fair enough. But number 3 is kind of crazy to me. I think Gabriel's obviously better, in my opinion, especially when we're talking about at the NFL level. Yeah, I think Dylan Gabriel's better. Will Howard's probably better. Riley Leonard at 6, bro? Really? Riley Leonard doesn't impress me at all. Now, I know Beck is coming off UCL surgery, so that could be a reason why he's so low. I think he would be higher too, but he turned the ball over a lot this year too. But you can tell he's got the intangibles and the raw talent to be good at the NFL level. Quinn Ewers, I mean, I would probably put a lot of these quarterbacks over Jalen Milroe as far as NFL talent goes. Curtis Rourke, Kyle McCord, Jalen Milroe might not even be on my list. Another gripe I have with this is, where is this man? Where is Jackson Dart, brother? I'm sorry. At the beginning of the year, I probably would have said the same thing. I don't think Jackson Dart translates to the NFL well, but I may have eaten my words. 6'2", so he's not like severely undersized. I wonder how tall is Shadur. I don't know. Let's just look. I need to know now. Shadur Sanders height. Hello, 6'2", so same size, same height as Shadur. So I don't miss me with the undersized crap. Listen to these stats, and just remember what we said about Milroe a while ago. And I know Bama probably played a slightly harder schedule, but roughly the same amount of competition, in my opinion. Jackson Dart completed 69.3% of his passes, 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 picks. Pretty good numbers in my opinion. And they're like, oh yeah, but Jalen Milroe can run. Yeah, Dart can too. He rushed for 500 yards this year. Not 20 touchdowns, but 3. But still, he's effective running the ball. And I just watched him so much that I know the kid can spin it. Why is he not at least 10? Like, what are we doing here? I would probably, and this may be just a horrible take. I would probably put Jackson Dart at least. I'd probably take Jalen Milroe out completely. And I would put Gabriel 4, Will Howard 5, maybe Jackson Dart 6. He's better than Riley Leonard, bro. Come on. Are we kidding? Carson Beck, if Carson Beck's healthy, Beck may be the better NFL prospect. Yours as well, but dude, Jackson Dart is better. Why is Riley Leonard 6? Like, what are we doing? I just don't understand it. Like, if this was based on grades alone throughout the year from PFF, I would 100% agree. This may be, wait. Oh my God, this is the dude that said it. Sir, I need to have a word with you, brother. I would love to have you on my show, but yeah, I know my show's too small. So anyway, but what are we doing here? Like, seriously? There's no way you're serious. All right. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have probably my favorite topic of the day. Jaden Rashada back in the transfer portal. He's leaving Georgia. Look at this timeline for Jaden Rashada. Tell me if this isn't like a walking red flag. Jaden Rashada since 2022 June. June 2022 commits to Miami. Everybody remembers this? I do. November, so just a few months later, flips to Florida. I remember this. I was excited. Around this time, somewhere in here, DJ Lagway commits to Florida. January, I think he even signed. He signed with Florida, if I'm not mistaken. We let him out of his NLI, National Letter of Intent, whatever. His financial aid paperwork, whatever you release him from these days. I'm not sure. Decommits from Florida. It was a dispute over NIL funds. We're not paying you $12 million, big dog. I don't know where you got that. I hope we don't anyway. And whoever agreed to it should be fired immediately. My God. February 2023. So just a month later, after he's released, commits and signs with Arizona State. Interesting enough, at Arizona State, starts, I believe, almost every game his freshman year. And I'm just thinking he's sticking it out. Now, they get Sam Levitt in the portal. And reportedly, this is allegedly, Levitt was probably going to win that starting job. So Jaden Rashada hits the portal and goes to, he doesn't want to sit on the bench, obviously, at Arizona State, right? So he transfers to somewhere who has an established quarterback. At the beginning of the year, Carson Beck was very established as a starter. One of the favorites to win the Heisman, and he's going to sit on the bench behind him. And then you look down that depth chart, and there's talent everywhere. You have Gunnar Stockton. I think he was a consensus at least 4-star player that's been in the program for 3 years. Do you really think you're going to beat him out in a month or two? Anyway, in April, he transfers to Georgia, and now January, he's back in the portal. Quite the journey. I agree. Now, I'm not here to bash kids or anything like that, but we are going to talk about maybe some possible landing spots for him. And I've thought about it, and there's only one I can think of that would take somebody like this, pay him the money he's going to be looking for, and him have a shot to start immediately. And that's Miami. Miami missed on a couple transfer portal quarterbacks, so they are still looking. So that could be an interesting spot because if you scroll back up, that's where his journey started in June. Now, did he burn that bridge? Is it too far gone? I'll be interested to see where Mr. Rashada commits to, because I think Miami he hates Florida, obviously, because of the NIL fiasco or whatever happened. He was suing Florida. I think he lost the suit, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's settled or not yet. Maybe Florida settled out of outside of the courtroom. But so he would get a shot if he goes back to Miami to play Florida next year and probably be the starter, because I know we saw in the bowl game, Emory Williams, it's just not very good. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Sorry, Miami fans, not very good. Look at this, bro. They're kind of trolling Jaden Rashada's dad. I would love if dad stayed off Twitter and stayed out of their son's business as far as trying to take up for him on social media. It's a bad look, and it does no good. Literally no good. So that's Jaden Rashada back in the portal again. I mean, at this point, I don't know, bro. What do you do? If you're a college coach, is this somebody you want? He's going to come with a hefty price tag, I'm sure, or demands. He's probably only going somewhere where he can be a starter. He's already sat for a year and lost a year eligibility at Georgia. Unless he redshirted. I don't think he redshirted. He might have. The UGA commitment never made sense to me. It never made sense to me. You knew Carson Beck was going to be there, right? Ryan Pugligsny, I think that's how you say his name, is a dog. Gunnar Stockton has been in the system for 3 years. It just never made sense to me. I don't know how much Georgia paid him, but they shouldn't have paid him anything. Anyway, let's move on. This next kid, I can't even pronounce his name, but another interesting story developing with these young quarterbacks. This kid, Jaron Keawe Sagapolutele, has committed to Cal. So this kid, 5-star out of high school, right? Yep, 25 class, literally just signed with Oregon. What, in December? So less than a month ago, this kid goes through all the practices with the Oregon team before the Rose Bowl. And then immediately after the Rose Bowl, I'm in the portal, brother. What is going on? How is this something that we can allow? This kid commits. I wonder if, I'm sure these NIL collectives and the schools and the coaches are way smarter than allowing this kid to like get the bag and then leave. There has to be stipulations. Hey, you get this amount a month. If you're no longer on the team, the contract's void. I just don't understand. And then he commits to Cal. Obviously, he's looking. Where did he flip from, Cal? Well, won't forget all the memories we had last week. So the kid's on campus less than a week. Why he flipped Oregon off? I'm not sure. I didn't follow his recruitment. Was he committed to Cal before he flipped Oregon? I don't know, bro. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on in this NIL stuff. You saw the Dallas, what's the kid's name? The kid that flipped from Oregon to Florida, the receiver. I think he's a 5-star. Like literally, he signs, gets out of his paperwork or whatever, and commits to Florida. Why are these kids committing and then, like, I don't know. I feel like by the time you commit or sign, you should have your mind made up. There should be very little doubt. Unless something like crazy happens, I don't see why you would, I don't know, realize your commitment. You don't want to be committed to them anymore. I don't know. Confusing. Moving on. Squirrel White. This one's kind of funny to me. Now, just a week or so, or maybe a couple weeks ago, FSU finds out they're getting Boston College transfer quarterback Thomas Castellanos. Not known to be a great thrower of the football, but he is an improviser, can make plays. A lot of Florida State fans are comparing him to Jordan Travis. I wouldn't go that far. I think he is good, though. Squirrel White leaves Tennessee, who has a pretty good quarterback in Nico Umialele, whatever his name is. Imaliava, whatever his name is. Like, they have a good quarterback. They have a good play caller. I think Heupel is one of the better offensive minds in the game. And you leave there to go to Florida State. Florida State just went 2-10. And if something were to happen to Castellanos, God forbid, who do they have behind him, brother? Is Rodemaker still there? No, I don't think he is. Then you got would it be Brock Glenn? That's tough, brother. I'm going to be honest with you. And he has 1 year eligibility remaining. So in his career, he's got 131 receptions, 1,600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great get for Florida State. I'm just trying to piece together why you would want to go to Florida State. Why? Not real sure. Anyway. Okay, there's Twitter beef going on. Anyway, and the last person we're going to talk about as far as the transfer portal goes, former Alabama State safety and UAB safety Adrian Maddox chooses Florida. As I said earlier, Florida was banged up in the secondary all year. We moved some guys from corner to safety. Traquise Bridges, I think that's how you pronounce his name, did a great job. I mean, he's one of our better players on defense going to the NFL. This will give us some much needed depth there. We did also sign, I think, 2 safeties out of high school that I'm excited about. The Hilton kid and the kid from Toombs County. 6'3", 200 safety, 114 tackles, 3 interceptions, 15 pass deflected, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 sacks in his college career. It's a veteran guy. I'm looking forward to him getting on campus and see what he can do. But, yeah, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a great day. I may just try to drop these as videos from now on because the lives are kind of aggravating. But I am going to start going live on here. I think I'm going to start going live maybe after some big games or something, like maybe after the Sugar Bowl. Not the Sugar Bowl. What's coming up? The semifinals. May go live after those. Hope you guys have a great day. And, yeah, I enjoy talking football, so make sure you subscribe, losers.